Hello, day 7 of playing the banjo, and as I mentioned yesterday, I need to do some setup and maintenance type of work on this one here. So that's why I've got it out here on the table with the neck rest and everything. I took some measurements on it, and actually it is 13 and 11/16 inches approximately from the nut to the 12th fret, and it is 14 and a quarter inches currently from the 12th fret to the bridge. So in case you're not familiar with how it should be, those two should be the same, and that's about just over a ½ inch of difference. So what that means is normally when you pluck a string, like this one here, the whole string vibrates. For it to be up 1 octave, so the same note, just one higher, if you lightly touch it in the middle, you'll hear that it's the same pitch but 1 octave higher. So the reason for that is because you're dividing the length of the string in half, basically. You're stopping the vibration at this point instead of here, and so the pitch is twice as high, it's 1 octave higher. So normally the 12th fret, because there are 12 half steps in a Western scale, or Western octave, the 12th fret should normally be halfway up the string, cutting it in half and making it 1 octave higher. So, and if you listen, you can hear that's actually a good bit flat, and the reason it makes sense, because this is shorter than this. So when the whole thing's vibrating, you're cutting it by almost half, but not quite, and that's what's making it be out of tune. It's also, by the way, really weird for me to fret with this hand even when it's flat. Maybe I should turn it around, but I'm not going to bother. I can do it like this. Now if I press down and kind of bend the string that way, you can get it pretty close. But the short version is the bridge needs to come this way. Also, I measured the action height on this. It is about 7/32, or just under 1/4 of an inch. Excuse me. At the 12th fret, it's just a hair under 1/4 of an inch here, the 22nd fret. Man, I got something dry in my throat. Excuse me. Anyway, the other one is about 1/8 of an inch. So that's quite a difference. It's almost half the height. I'm going to have to pause this. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Much better. Got some water. So I was saying this string height is about twice as high on this as it is on this other banjo here. There. And so it needs to come down. The difference of about 1/8 of an inch seemed interesting to me. So I measured the bridge. This is a 5/8 inch bridge. That one has a 1/2 inch bridge, so 1/8 of an inch difference. Makes sense. Also, the 3 feet on here, turn it so you can see a little better. The 3 feet on here are not that thick at their widest point. Maybe the exposure is wrong here. There we go, maybe you can see better. So I don't think I've got an 1/8 inch to sand off there, and that's a lot of sanding anyway to keep it precise and flat. So I actually just ordered another bridge. It wasn't super expensive, about $10. My kids are rattling at the door, so I'll be right back again. Okay, Amelia did not want to finish story time with mommy, so she's in here. So, what's next? Do you see yourself on the computer screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, huh?
It's bow.
A what?
Bow.
Your bow?
Yeah.
It's very pretty, isn't it? Yeah. So, this bridge needs to move up. Because it's just sitting on top of this head, it's considered a floating bridge. It's not fixed to the banjo in any way. Yeah, Amelia knows that's right. It's similar to how violins are set up, and so since my wife is an excellent violinist, and by the way, if you live in the area and need violin lessons, we have openings for new students. I'll put a link in the description. I asked her, I said, how are you supposed to adjust a bridge? Like, do you have to take the strings off and put new ones on afterwards? Do you just loosen them, or what do you do? And she said, yeah. Isn't that right? Yeah, you do. You just loosen them.
Yeah.
So then I'm just going to loosen these strings and move it up. I will also take the opportunity to lower the tailpiece a little bit. And I think I might try to sand down the bridge a little bit. So, you gonna drum along? Yeah. So, loosen these up quite a bit here. It's amazing to me how long these stay, like, it's a very loose tune, but it's like an actual note. With the guitar, it's like you loosen it, and it goes down a little ways, and then it just... Are you drumming? Yeah? Are you watching yourself drum on that screen over there? So I've got the camera right there, of course. Over here is... It's a little too loud, okay? Over here is the microphone, and then the laptop that I'm recording onto is there. So that's what Amelia is looking at. Oh, and of course this needs to get loosened too. Hey, it's a little bit too loud, okay? You want to go out to the couch, you said?
No.
Oh, I thought you said couch. You want your passy?
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, so at this point, the bridge does move a little bit. All right. Hey, Amelia, I'm going to put you down. You can play that one just a little bit, very carefully, okay? So I measured ahead of time and adjusted where the bridge, or I marked it with a pencil on the head, just where the bridge should be approximately. And this should get it pretty close. I think the head may need to be tightened just slightly as well. So I might do that when I do some of the other adjustments. That one's still got definitely the most tension on it. I'm just going to loosen that up a little more. Okay. So that I think is just about right. Oh, and I said I was going to lower this too. So this is just kind of like a piece like this, and then there's a screw that comes through here, and so adjusting the screw kind of, I'm not doing that quite right, I don't think, but it looks like a little animal. Anyway, adjusting the screw causes the tailpiece to raise or lower, so tightening it lowers it down a little bit. I think maybe right about there is where I'll try it for right now. You gonna sit behind me? Yeah? Okay. So now comes the job of tightening these strings back up. What are you doing? You're stuck?
Yeah.
You want help getting out?
No.
Oh, your leg's up here too. My goodness. Here, put your leg down.
Yeah.
You can climb down that way if you want to. Is that better? Yeah. I have a tuner here that I'm looking at. Oops, shoot. Notice I keep turning them backwards too because I'm not used to the tuners being over here. You found the box of markers. favorite? Do you want to go out, Amelia? Okay. Here you go. You gonna take those down to mommy? So you may have noticed I tuned up these. Well, I kind of tried to get them a little bit close. I tuned up these first few strings to get them right on pitch according to the tuner. But then after I tuned these up, the other ones were flat. And the reason for that is that you have to think about the tension of the strings. It's pulling in because they're being stretched, so they're pulling in. And then the neck, because it's being bent up and it's fighting against that, it's pulling back down. So there has to be a balance between the tension on the strings and the tension on the neck. So when these strings were in tune, I think that was for the amount of tension in play. When I tuned up these strings, that put more tension on the neck and kind of pulled it up, which essentially loosened these strings because it's like the head kind of bent up and made it a little bit shorter here. I hope I explained that well. Let me know if I did in the comments below. Thanks. If you're still watching at this point. This is going to be kind of a long video. Anyway, I think it does have a brighter sound. Okay, my daughter's crying. I'll be right back. So anyway, my daughter's meltdown was over the fact that she had carried a box of dry erase markers out there and my wife took them away from her. Understandably so. Anyway, kids are in bed now. Things are calmer. Normally I record these while my wife is reading stories to our kids, and then after that I tell it to start saving to my server, take the kids into their room, and I rock with them while I sing a couple songs they pick out and pray for them, and then put them in bed. Well, Elias gets in bed by himself, but I put Amelia in her crib. So anyway, now you know when these are filmed. Not that film is involved. Okay, so I adjusted these. I got it tuned up. It should be pretty close. The kids are like, there's a wall, and then there's a closet, and then there's their room. So I'm not going to be super loud here. Anyway, I just should be pretty close. And before, to get the harmonic, I had to do it like halfway into the 13th fret. Now it's pretty clearly right over the fret, so I think I'm okay on spacing. And then this one, because it starts 5 frets down, the octave is 5 frets further down. And then furthermore, we can check the 12th fretted note versus the harmonic and versus the open note. Oops. So it's still not perfect, but much, much, much closer than it had been. Also with lowering this down here, you can see it's closer to the head than it had been. I feel like it gave it a little bit of a brighter tone, but maybe it's just because the tone was so mellow after when the strings were so loose. So, and then this is also going to, the pitch changes a little bit when I'm bracing my fingers on the head because the head flexes. In fact, you might be able to hear it. there's a little bit of variation there. So I'm not sure exactly how to compensate for that or what, but maybe I should just tune it with my fingers in place like they normally will be. So because pressing on it lowers the bridge slightly, so that reduces the overall string tension, makes the note go flat. So anyway, I feel like I've forgotten everything I've learned in the past week, but it is. Hi-de-ho, hi-de-hi, gonna get me a piece of the sky. Anyway, here's all that. If you want to hear more of that, there's another video with it. Then what else was there? Forward, backward roll. And then there's the alternating the thumb roll, which was... yeah. And then what else was there? Yeah, so obviously I have a long way to go, but I think being basically a week in, this is the end of the first week of playing. I feel like I've picked up a lot, and I'm excited to play more and get better. I'm very excited to get a new bridge on this so that the string height calms itself down a little bit and get those clean strings on here. I didn't bother to change because I figured might as well do all the new stuff at once. And also I still need to file off many of these frets. Some of them even seem like they've popped up a little bit, so I need to see if there's a way to set them down into the neck a little bit better. I'll most likely need to have the strings off for that, so I'll try to do that around the same time as putting the new bridge in, which is supposed to get here Tuesday. So anyway, this has been a little bit of a crazy evening with all the stuff, but you have a good day. I'm going to have a good day, and I will see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.